Hello. Let's try doing our period cost calculations now. All right, so we finished our product cost in the last few videos and we're on to our period costs. So period costs. So let's move on to period costs, which I think is requirement 7 of your project. So let me update that. Sorry, you can tell I copy and paste a lot. Laziness. Period cost calculation. Period cost calculation for my product. But since it's a period, those product specifications don't really play into effect here. All right, so we know that our period costs are made up of selling and they're made up of administrative. So let's go ahead and do selling first. Let me remind you that your book states that selling costs, so selling costs are the expenses related to the promotion and sale of a company's product. Okay, so that's our definition. I think it's on page 192. All right, so with that definition in mind, think about the selling costs that relate to your specific product. Everyone's going to have different ones depending on your sales strategies, right? Are you selling online? Well, then you're going to have probably some online fees to pay, some shipping fees, the cost of your internet, the cost of your computer, prorated, of course, right? Are you selling to a local retail store? Then the time to deliver your product to that retailer would be a selling cost. So everyone's going to have different items here, depending on their product and selling strategy, which is why I had you write down your selling strategy early on in the paper. I think it was like requirement 3 or 4, I think something like that. Okay, so for me, I am going to travel to each location and provide my planting services there. So for me, it's going to be time. So time to client, I'll say. And then I'm also going to have time for selling, right? Where I'm going to be chatting with my different customers and saying, hey, what do you want in your planter box? So basically it's like taking client orders. So I'm going to have my time for those 2 different activities. So I am only going to provide services to clients within a 5-mile radius. So this calculation will be similar to the one I did for mileage. Where is it? There it is, mileage. That's going to be similar to the one I did up here. So I'm just going to copy and paste as I do. Control C and Control V. So I am just going to go in a 5-mile radius. So 5 miles, let me make this a formula, equals 5 miles. And then I've got to come back. So 5 times 2, so 10 miles. Let me spruce that up. 10 miles, alignment. Okay, so I'm going to be only delivering in a 5-mile radius. Okay, I'm going to then be using the IRS's rate for business mileage. Oh goodness. Mile and equals. Okay, so 10 miles times 0.58. So that is my anticipated selling cost for 1 unit to travel to and from that one client. Again, assuming they're within that 5-mile radius. And again, I can say in my analysis that might change. Maybe I decide to take clients that are closer to home, because my whole point for my product is I want it to be in my local community. So like we're going to do the planter boxes at my daughter's school, which is right down the street. We're going to do it here at our house. And there was one other place now I can't remember. It'll come to us later. Alrighty. And then my time for selling. So this is going to be time. It's going to be similar to the one I had up here. I'm going to do 2.5 hours for selling time. Let me abbreviate that so you can see it in the cell. Times the $15 wage. And fees, the IRS, oh goodness, business mileage rate. Okay, so let's sum that up. Equals sum, open parentheses, close parentheses, $9.55 per unit is my total selling cost. And I'm the assumption here is that I'm also having these conversations face to face. If I was having them on the phone, then I'd have to include my phone costs in here as well, right? So part of your phone bill prorated for how much you think you're going to be using it for business purposes. So much to think about. But yeah, I would just walk over to the school and I would chat with the school, principal and say, what would you like to see in your planner box, right? So this is another reason why it is local places only. And so then that time reflects my conversation time with them, also my travel time walking down the street. Alrighty, so there's my selling costs. Next, we will move on to our administrative costs. I better do that one in a separate video just so this one doesn't go too long. All right, see you then.